watching KRIS 6 News at 6.
Welcome back. A slight majority of Texans favor Governor Greg Abbott's border policy, including support of border walls. Now, that's according to a new Dallas Morning News poll.
However, Border Patrol is catching a record number of migrants trying to cross into the country. So joining us right now to talk immigration policy, a few other issues affecting the coastal bend, Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Governor, thanks for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you all.
You bet. What is the balance between those migrants, Governor, who want to legally come into the U.S., become citizens, and a border wall and other policies designed to keep many of them out?
So listen, in the United States, there is a legal pathway that people can pursue to become a legal immigrant into the United States. And the problem is that President Biden is not enforcing what that standard is. Remember, it was just 2 years ago we had some of the lowest border crossings in decades, and now we're setting record after record after record of the most illegal border crossings ever. And that's all because Biden administration is not enforcing the laws as they exist. When the rule of law is abandoned, it leads to chaos, like what we're seeing with the Biden's open border policy.
So you want to send some to some other states like New York and let them figure out what to do with them? What's that policy about?
So initially it was an effort to help local communities along the border, such as Del Rio, such as Uvalde, small communities that the Border Patrol was just dumping illegal immigrants in their communities with no ability for those communities to deal with it. And they asked me for help. And the busing idea came up, and I said that I will take charge of busing these migrants up to other locations, including Washington, D.C. and New York. It's had a byproduct of being eye-opening for liberal leaders in places like Washington and New York, but candidly across the country. Now the country is seeing something that we've been dealing with every single day, and that is the fact that we have a crisis on our border.
All right, thank you, Governor. One of the major concerns here for us, of course, is the safety of the new Harbor Bridge. As you know, there have been several setbacks for a project that was actually supposed to be finished in 2020. Well, now that part of the bridge is on pause again, what do you tell the public tonight to ensure this bridge is not only going to be finished, but that we can cross it safely?
Well, first, listen, I'm as frustrated as anybody in the Corpus Christi area. You may or may not know, but I was there for the groundbreaking of the building of that bridge, and yes, I fully expected it to be completed by now. And as you kind of pointed out, the reason why it got slowed down is because concerns have been raised about the safety of some of the design parts of the bridge. And I'm telling the Texas Department of Transportation to move swiftly to make sure that they get the flawed design fixed and start getting that bridge built. Because that is important to Corpus Christi, it's important to the entire region. I want to get the job done.
All right, thank you, Governor. And you know, that's what I wanted to ask you too, because right now there's a transparency issue. We have been talking to TxDOT about trying to get documents about those issues, and they've asked the Attorney General that they not have to release those. You know, this is now a public trust issue as well. You know, how do you resolve that? You know, when do you step in? I know you said you were going to be talking to the Attorney General and TxDOT.
Sure. So it would depend upon what the documents show, because they could show that there was actually a legal violation by one of the parties to the contract, and that would be a reason for non-disclosure, because it would be subject to something that would be involved in a lawsuit. I don't know, because I haven't seen the document request, but I suspect that may be what it is.
And you plan to take some action, though, you say?
Well, listen, the main action that I want to see is I want to see TxDOT move with rapid speed to get this resolved. Either they need to move forward with the current contractor, or they need to get a new contractor. However, job number one has to be safety. We don't want to build a bridge that could be unsafe for anybody out there.
Governor, thanks for taking some time to speak with us and our viewers tonight. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, thanks for being with us here on KRIS 6 News.
My pleasure.